The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hi, this is Armando.
And this is Alex.
And you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
We are from the band Anialator, TX. Anialator from Texas. Remember that, motherfuckers.
Do it.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. Your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands. With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have Mr. Alex Dominguez. He's the bassist of Anialator, and plus we have Mr. Armando Valadez. He's also the guitarist of Anialator. Anialator hail from Corpus Christi, Texas, and have released a 5-track EP entitled Rise to Supremacy via Madrid-based metal label Xtreem Music. We're going to be talking about all this stuff coming up, plus how they got back together and the power of the internet. So we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff in this podcast. So, gentlemen, glad to have you on the show, and welcome back.
How you doing? Good to be here. Thank you for taking the time out and supporting Anialator. We appreciate that, John.
That's not a problem. I'm not knocking because you guys are old school, but it's cool to see the old school 80s thrash bands, late 80s, come back and do what they do best and still kick ass at it. I think that's cool for what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
How's it been working with Music Gallery International, and how did this come about?
Sean Baruch, who the owner of Music Gallery International, happens to be a really good old friend of ours. We worked with Sean back in the mid-'90s when me, Armando, Roland, and Roland Torres, our other guitar player, and Angel Gonzalez, our vocalist now. We all used to be in a band called Sufferance. It was kind of after the tail end of Anialator, we decided to kind of change our name, and we ended up calling it Sufferance. And Sean Baruch happened to come out and see one of our shows, and we became good friends with him. And we worked with him for a good while. I want to say a good maybe 5 years with the band Sufferance, and we just ended up parting ways. He so happened that he popped up again, Facebook. You can find anybody on Facebook. We ended up connecting back on Facebook, and he heard our EP and was blown away by it and wanted to work with us. So that's how we ended up working with Sean again and Music Gallery International.
Anialator originally formed in 1986 and took a hiatus in the 90s as you guys started families and moved on to other musical projects. Did this allow you to recharge the batteries for Anialator and maybe hopes of one day getting the band back together? Did this leave the door open for you guys, possibly?
In all honesty, I never thought we would even, I would ever put Anialator back together again. I just thought it would be buried, and, it was what it was at the time, and we did what we did in the short amount of time that we existed. I didn't think we were, going to ever put it, I never thought it'd see the light of day again. I just moved on musically. We moved on, like I said, most of the members, when Anialator ended, it was me and Roland Torres in the band that were the only two left at the tail end of Anialator. So when we formed the band Sufferance, that's where we got Armando Valadez in and Angel Gonzalez. And we kept on marching on, musically. We had a Sufferance together for I want to say 9 years. We kept going and doing our own thing. And like you said earlier, the power of the internet kind of just brought it all back together again I'm probably one of the later ones to join Facebook. I never really cared for it at the time. And
I was the latest one.
Oh yeah. Armando was the latest one to join, but for me, I didn't join till I guess 2000, I want to say 14 or something like that. I started getting requests for Anialator stuff, and I started getting people on my webpage, on my Facebook page, wanting to know if we had any old merch, wanting to know when we were going to come back. People would leave compliments that, they love the band. Why don't you guys bring it back? Why don't you all get back together? So in other words, to make a long story short, the internet kind of
the huge resurgence of it.
Helped bring us back to, at least help me decide with our original vocalist who isn't with us, isn't in the band anymore. His name was Mark Olivo. Between me and him, we kind of decided to, let's give it a try. Nothing serious. Let's just do it for fun. Play a show here, play a show there. And it just snowballed into what it snowballed. And that's one of the reasons he ended up leaving, because it turned into doing a lot more stuff than he could do, since, he's a family man. I mean, we all are, but, he couldn't step away and do what we were doing, shows out of stage, shows out of the country, stuff like that. So, I mean, that's how really the internet kind of brought it back together. The little break, we never had a break in music. It was always, after Anialator, we formed another band, and the music's always been there. We've always had music in our blood, in our veins, and we've always put out music. I guess you could say it did kind of resurge the Anialator thing, because when we put it back together, if we were going to do anything, I just kind of wanted just to do the old catalog. I just wanted to do the old stuff, go do shows, a festival here, a festival there. We weren't planning on writing anything new, but when it did turn to that point where we were going to, start writing new stuff for the band, I kind of wanted to come out and make a statement, production-wise, make a statement music-wise, and show the world that, I mean, we were not just a cult band, that we actually have something to offer. In-your-face, kick-ass, fucking skull-crushing thrash metal, and that's how we got the EP, and that's how we got going.
Were you shocked at all that you were getting requests off of social media for the band to reunite? I mean, did that kind of come as a shock to you, or no?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it did, because I knew somewhat that we had a cult underground following. I knew a little bit we did through eBay. When the internet first came into play, and I started, I got the internet, back in, I said the mid-90s, I guess, or something like that. I can't remember when I first got AOL or whatever it was. I started doing these search, I type in Anialator, see what come up, and I would see these albums that we were selling for like $10, $8 at our shows at the time. Were selling for like $50, $35, and people were buying them.
Wow.
The EP. So that kind of amazed me that who out there would, we were just a small, tiny, I mean, a dust speck in a universe of bands that came out at that time. I mean, it just exploded to where, I mean, we made, I guess we made enough noise from Texas for the world to hear us, because, they
want more.
Yeah. The people that were contacting me on Facebook were from like Peru. They were from Spain, from Switzerland, Brazil, Mexico, the United States. I mean, from everywhere. So it kind of was a shock that, there was a little resurgence, or there was something going on. People were interested in Anialator.
So original singer.
The original singer was Mark Arispe.
Okay.
He was only on the first EP. I call it the white EP, because it has a white cover. It has no title to it, so it has a white album cover. So we call it the white EP. But that was the first Anialator EP that Mark Arispe was on.
Mark Arispe, he was unable to continue as lead singer. However, you guys landed vocalist Angel Gonzalez. What has he added to this band? And plus, Armando, what have these guys added to Anialator that may have been missing possibly? Did they give it that extra kick that it needed?
It was an amazing kick, because the level of professionalism and, the way Angel brings his level of thinking on his writing, it amplifies through our music as well. So it's very powerful, but it did progress in a very good way, in a very strong way to say, but I couldn't be happier. It's awesome. And just wait to hear the new stuff. We got some new stuff coming out someday soon. So, it's a journey that, I'm happy to be on, and just wait to hear the new stuff as well. We're very proud of it. Everything we're doing now is just a progression of stuff coming up. It's going to be more intense. It's going to be even harder, and you'll love it, man. Give it to everybody for next Christmas too as well.
I want to step in real quick. Mark Arispe was our original vocalist, but the person who decided with me to try to get it back together again in 2015 was Mark Olivo. He was the vocalist. He was the guitarist in Anialator. Yeah. He's always been the guitarist. When we did our second EP, he took over vocals and played guitar at the same time. So he was our vocalist on the second EP. He's the one that we decided to try to get it together again and see what happens. And he's the one that couldn't continue, Mark Olivo.
What's impressed you guys or excited you the most about making this 5-track EP, Rise to Supremacy? when it was coming together. What's caught your eye about it the most, if anything, guys?
Like Alex said, I mean, we were just planning just to, do the old catalog, but we started coming up with riffs. Alex and I wrote a couple of songs, and then Roland would come in with some new stuff. It got so heavy and powerful. It's just, we got to record this. I mean, because it's an answer to what was, and now it is what it is. It's a never-changing, progressive kind of formidable kind of a metal fucking. It morphed into something else even more powerful than we even thought would be. And we couldn't be happier. I mean, we're in the studio recording, hearing tracks back. We're blown away. People are going to freak out. We were saying people are going to freak out on this, and so far they are. They're really loving it. It's great.
The main songwriters in the band are Armando and Roland. They're the main songwriters. Angel and myself, we contribute, pieces. Maybe I'll arrange something that Armando wrote. I'll arrange it to where, we'll switch rhythms around and stuff like that. But
he's very good at that.
It's two different style writers as guitar players. So when they each bring their stuff to the table, it doesn't, Armando's doesn't sound exactly like Roland's riffs. They're different, and that's what kind of gives the whole thing about the EP is we wanted to give it an identity. We didn't want it one song, you push play, and it sounds like every song sounds the same, till the end of the EP. We just kind of wanted to, just give it its own identity, each song. And with these songwriters that I have in the band, Armando and Roland, we just started showing each other our riffs, and stuff just started coming out, and it just flowed so easy. It was kind of scary how everything kind of came together so quick, writing new material, that it was kind of shocking that everything just fell into place really well.
It just clicked.
So when you guys got this new band of Anialator back together and have its new foundation, did you guys change the sound in any way since working on this EP, or no? Or did it actually be more better, you think, if that makes sense?
Well, I mean, the sound-wise, production-wise, you can't duplicate what we recorded. I mean, we recorded the EPs in the early 80s. I mean, in the mid-80s, the Annihilator EPs, we recorded them analog. It wasn't this Pro Tools, cut and paste, shine it up, make digital. It sound, digital, make it sound, all good and everything. It was done on reel-to-reel. So the production back then was pretty harsh for what it was. I guess that's what gave it kind of its identity. It was real raw and heavy. It had a lot of speed to it, the music. Where the new stuff, the production, of course, because it's 2018, the production is a lot more beefier, a lot more...
a little bit more advanced.
Yeah, a little bit better production. As for style, we added some elements that we used to love speed back. I mean, we still love speed back in the 80s. These new songs, we still added the speed. The speed hasn't disappeared. We still have our fast songs, I guess nothing really changed, just the times of how things are recorded. I'm pretty sure if we recorded these songs back in the 80s, I mean, they would have that feel the EP has. But, of course, it's 2018, and things have gotten way better recording-wise. So,
are there any songs off this EP standing out more to you guys than any on it as of right now possible? I mean, I know these probably change for each of you when you listen to it, but can you pick a favorite possibly?
Me personally, Alex, I personally like Embrace the Chaos and Rise Again. Embrace the Chaos has that in-your-face, just no let-up speed and aggression. And Rise Again has the audience participation parts where we can get the crowd, pumped up and yelling back, what we want them to yell back at, on certain parts or whatever. So those two are my two favorites.
I'd say for me it'd be Thick Skinned and All Systems Down, because it's got that heavy groove, but it's got some fast to it, and it's just it's a good time. You're enjoying it, you're just feeling it. So yeah, those are my two.
You guys self-produced the EP. Do you like to have the freedom and control when recording your music, and why not do a full length? I mean, I know, of course, money-wise.
Money-wise was one of them. We got offered a deal from Xtreem Music, and it was kind of weird. It wasn't discussed about. I just kind of had asked Dave Rotten from Xtreem Music. He had already put out our older catalog on CD, and I just asked him if he would be interested in new music. He said, yeah. So the first thing that popped on my head is, I don't know why, I just like, hey, we got 5 new songs. Would you be interested? He was like, yeah, I would be interested in it. So I guess that's how the EP aspect came into it. We didn't discuss an album. We didn't discuss a full-length album or anything doing with Xtreem. It was just, let's throw these 5 songs out. I know it's an EP, but let's just throw these 5 songs out into the water and see what we can reel back in, see what happens. And that's why, money's not money. When we were younger in our teens, yeah, money was a problem, but, we're older, we're established, we all have jobs. Money wasn't an issue. I guess it was just trying to see if there was anybody out there that really was still interested in Anialator, wanting to hear new stuff. The old stuff, we knew we had the diehards. The new stuff, we just kind of wanted to see if anybody would be interested in hearing some new stuff. So I know the next one we do, whether it's with Xtreem Music or another company, it's going to be a full length. It'll be the full length, hopefully
Definitely.
13, 14 songs on it, and see, we'll take it from there.
So back to the self-producing wise, do you guys like that freedom and control of your music when you record them?
I don't know. We've never used a producer to actually know what it's like for a producer to come in and, I've heard some stuff that's been produced by some big name producers, and if it was them arranging the songs or them putting in a rhythm or two in some of these albums that I've heard, that actually might help a little bit, with, I guess, in the writing process. But
like someone looking outside of the box.
Yeah, someone that might not see what we're all seeing. The band is seeing one way, and he might be seeing something that we don't see and point it out, and it might work out. We've never worked with a producer, so it's kind of hard to say how it would be.
That's why we got you, bro.
Oh, yeah, whatever. It would be interesting to see what a producer could bring, but we feel like we're capable enough to, like this EP, we all listened to it before we recorded it. We all went through it. We changed parts. We took notes. We went home, because we all live in different parts of Texas. We went home, took a break, came back. Everybody came back.
Fresh ears.
Saying, okay, maybe we should switch this rhythm or take this out in certain songs. And kind of us having that freedom, we felt like we didn't miss the mark on the EP. We felt like we did a great job,
Anialator earned a spot on Combat Records compilation Combat Bullets Volume 1.0. And you guys wrote a brand new song, Dead World Spiral. How quick did that come together? And what was your thoughts on being on the compilation Combat Bullets Volume 1.0?
That song actually was getting written while we were in the process of trying to win the contest. We didn't have any more songs to offer, and this contest that Combat had was kind of like a popularity vote. The more votes you got, they went by brackets. It was like they started off with 1,000 bands, and they went to like 500 bands, and they went to, I spent my whole goddamn Christmas, trying to get people to help us vote, and they all did too. All the band members were trying to get it going. So what happened was we started moving up the chain and winning. We were coming in, close second to last, if not last, the last band to get accepted. I started thinking, well, shit, what if we actually earn a spot on this? What the fuck are we going to do? We don't have any music. So I called up Roland on the phone. I said, dude, if you have something, start putting it together, because I have a feeling we're going to earn a spot on this thing. And I want to be caught with like,
pants down.
Yeah, with our pants down. Like, shit, what do we do now? We want a spot. They want the fucking recording now. So while all this voting was taking place and we were trying to get people to vote on their website, Combat's website, he was out there, in his house putting shit together, and he brought to the table Dead World Spiral, and we all learned it in like one day before we went into the studio the next day, because after we did win a spot on the Combat compilation. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to a hanging from Louisiana. Those guys earned a spot on there too, but they were cool enough to ask their fans to turn around and vote for us also to get on the compilation. So
very cool, man.
That was cool of Bobby and a hanging out of Louisiana to help us with that.
Yeah,
and
really cool.
We got on it, and we learned it in one day. Next day, we went to the studio, recorded it, and
started mixing
it, and that was it. That's how that came about. Pretty quick. It was like one of those things like, oh shit, we might actually earn a spot on this. We better get our ass in gear and try to write something. Luckily, Roland had something already working in his laboratory, ready to come to the table. Just needed some fine tuning here and there, little parts here and there. But he had he wrote a majority of the whole song, but probably like 95% of the song.
Yeah.
Especially when another band asks their fans to help out another band, that's high right there for me. That speaks volumes.
Yeah, Bobby from A Hanging was an Anialator fan. I didn't know back in the days. It was like everybody was competing each other. I get this email not an email. I get this Facebook Messenger message saying, "Hey, I play with the band A Hanging out of Louisiana. I'm a fan of you guys. I just asked our people who voted for us to vote for you guys. I want you all on the same compilation as us. That's a class act right there. You don't find too many people that'll turn around and take the time out to try to help another band,
Oh, shit.
Especially, especially being on the same compilation as a band that they like growing up. That's fucking, yeah, you got it, man. Class act right there all the way.
Yeah, definitely. Straight up.
What do you hope the fans take away from the EP, or message you hope they hear while listening to just any of Annihilator's music whatsoever? What do you hope they get from it, guys?
Hopefully they'll open up a couple of beers and after a hard fucking day at work and just unwind with all the, that aggression that they'll be hearing. I hope they walk away with, Angel's lyrics are pretty deep. Hope they walk away with thinking about,
a message,
what's going on in the world, how fucked up it is, at times, how, I don't know. I just hope they enjoy it for one.
Yeah.
And hopefully it just kind of puts them in a place where, if you're a metalhead, there's still hope, that there's still good music out there. It's not all, everything comes in trends. It's not all the latest flavor of the year or the month. I hope they walk away with knowing that, they can just enjoy the music we write for them,
And it's so awesome, and I say this a lot, and people may get tired of me saying this, but music is a universal voice for all of us that, when we listen to your guys' music, or anybody's music that we like, to just get away for a couple hours, man, just to get away, like you said, get away from the everyday bullshit that we go through. That to me, that means more to me than anything of the bullshit that I go through. And thanks to you guys and all these other bands, I owe you guys a lot for that, so thanks.
No, thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
For taking the time out to at least give it a chance. Some people write us off as dinosaurs or, just, it's a 80s band trying to come back again and cash in on a money-making thing. But, this type of music, there's no money to be made.
No.
It's all from the heart. It's
for the love of the music.
Yeah, it's for the love of the music. It's in our blood. This is what we love doing. And, we love playing live. We love going somewhere else. We love stepping up on stage, especially when we're sandwiched between all these other bands. We love walking up on there with this mentality that, we're going to fucking destroy everybody in this place and on this bill.
Cut their heads off.
We're there to prove a point because, for one, everybody thinks we're just a throwback 80s band. For two, some people probably have never heard of us. So first impressions always make a good thing. So,
yes, sir.
Well, it's, if it ain't broke, don't fix the damn thing. That's for sure.
I agree.
If they don't like it, there's the fucking door. Go.
Yeah.
How much growth musically, guys, have you seen this band and yourselves go through with this band, or has it just been more of a personal growth for each of you involved with this so far?
It is a personal growth, but as well as a band growth. Because it's always evolving. It's always turning into something better, and it's just, it's a hell of a ride,
We're living in the digital era of recording albums to get them out quicker, and plus we have social media to reach out to fans who have not got to hear Annihilator as of yet. Do you like this that we're living in now, or no?
It has its ups and downs. I know these kids have a short attention span right now. I understand where, after you put out a full-length album nowadays, 5 months later, they're already expecting another album to come out of your ass or whatever. How are they expected to come out? But in a way, I kind of like it because you're able to, like a band like us, I guess we're not on the label right now. Xtreem, well, for the EP, it was with Xtreem. A band like us could easily just put out a song every other month, a single every other month to keep whoever's interested in either, I guess, occupied till we would put out a full length. I mean, for a lot of unsigned bands, it's a plus. I see it, all the social media with the Facebooks and getting your stuff downloaded and streamed and all that. I think it's a plus to a point, and I think it just gets the downside of it. I think it would just it's too saturated with like too many bands. Not like the old days where there was no computer to find out, when the next, I guess, like, the next Metallica or Slayer album came out. You walk into a store, if you didn't read a magazine, you walked into a store and you would just see it there like, oh shit, they got a new album out already. That kind of made it special. You know what I'm saying? It kind of made it exciting where
you're anticipating it.
Yeah. Where now it's just, you find out everything on the internet from what your favorite band is playing every night, the song list. There's no surprise when you go see them play because you're like, oh yeah, the next song's going to be this, and the next song isn't. So I think the internet and social media and all that, it has its ups and downs. It can work
to
an extent, and then it could also be a downfall to an extent. So, I mean, either way with us, we accept technology. Where some bands I know they don't, but, we accept it.
Do you guys do anything differently during the writing and recording process to help keep your mind open and fresh to new stuff and not let your music get stale or get bored with it? Do you guys do anything differently possibly to help?
There's always influences and inspiration. So, I mean, musically and, like I said, it's just a journey of inspirations there because everybody has their own thoughts. And when it comes together, it's just like, where'd this come from? I've been jamming out to some, jazz, or I'm jamming out to some other stuff. Or, you get inspiration to imitate is to create. And, it's endless. It's limitless. So guys can come in. Alex shows me a couple of bands I've never heard of. I go, wow, that's cool. Never heard them. And next thing I know, I was like, oh, that's influential. I get ideas like that too. And, it's just an inspiration, not copying or not like that. But it's just like, there's so much out there. It's limitless.
I think we love what we're doing. I think we love what we're doing so much that it doesn't really bore us, or it doesn't put us in uninterested in what we're doing or how we're writing. I think we're just, it's in our blood that we don't get bored of it. We don't really have to do anything too drastic to try to keep us interested in what we're doing. I mean,
right.
We just love what we're doing.
How much support does Anialator get from venues and getting airplay for your guys' music? How much support do you guys get?
From what I know, I don't know how far and wide it gets through venues. I mean, we get a lot of support through venues. I mean, we book our own shows right now. As of right now, we're trying to find a booking agent to take over, but we book our own shows. Every venue we play here in Texas and outside of Texas always are behind us 100%. As for radio, I know there's a few stations out there that play us. I mean, we have a local radio station here in town in Corpus Christi.
A couple of them
that play our music. College radio picked up on it. A lot of online, podcasts like yourself have picked up on it. So I mean, it's getting around slowly but surely.
What made you guys want to become a musician? What was that spark for the both of you?
For me, I was in 8th grade, and I borrowed a couple of albums from a friend of mine. One of them happened to be UFO Strangers in the Night.
Ooh, nice.
I guess I was going to tell you how old I am. And I heard Michael Schenker play on that album. I had never heard UFO before, and that was my first introduction to UFO. And I knew music was what I wanted to do the rest of my life. Plus also my brother was a jazz saxophonist. He's 10 years older than me. So sharing a room with him growing up, he was always, like I would do when I was younger, put an album on and play along to it with my guitar or try to figure out bass lines on my bass. He was always, playing along with jazz records. That was also a heavy influence that, wow, this is cool. I'd like to be a musician. I mean, not jazz, but I would like to do, something music-wise. So those two things were pretty heavily influenced on my life. I don't know about Armando,
For me, it was, as a kid, it had to be Kiss, the Beatles, and then I found Randy Rhoads, and the story was over.
Oh, Is it crazy how you think back and Randy Rhoads was in Quiet Riot, and then he goes from Quiet Riot to Ozzy?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I was thinking about that today at work. I was like, me and a buddy of mine was talking, and I was like, it's crazy how Randy Rhoads goes from Quiet Riot to Ozzy Osbourne. I was like, that's the most craziest.
It's a huge jump. That's a huge jump there.
Yeah.
I mean, he put it all together with Ozzy. That was great. That's what messed me up, is like, you forget it. I'm corrupted already. I'm playing guitar the rest of my life.
And it seemed like when he got with Ozzy, he made the, and you guys get what I'm going to say. It's like he made that guitar talk to you as a fan.
Yeah, I agree. It was a part of him. I totally agree with you.
I know you guys mentioned earlier you get support from Brazil, all over the place, but is there a country that stands out or shocks you guys that Anialator still gets support from this day, or your music gets played in those areas?
I think Mexico. We played there in 1990 in front of like 1,000. We did 2 shows. One night there was like 1,000 kids there. Next night there was like 800. I think Mexico City or Mexico in general has stood behind us quite a bit. I don't know if it's because, Texas is right there next to Mexico, but Mexico seems to have, strong metalheads. I mean, just droves and droves of insane thrashers,
All right, guys. Now, I know you probably get this a lot. However, what's it mean to you guys still to this day, even Armando coming into the band now? But what's it mean to you guys when you hear folks tell you, either via email or after the shows or prior to the shows, that Anialator's music has gave them inspiration to overcome obstacles? It's made them get away with the everyday bullshit that we go through, or it's just made them get away for a while. What's that mean to you guys?
But it's a very humbling experience, man, because it's like we're doing something we love. And I mean, I've had some people come up to me and just hug me and say, man, you guys put it out, man. You put that EP out. It helped me out some bad times. And sometimes I need to, I just got to fucking unwind, It's like, and I'm just like humbled and so grateful and thankful, man. I mean, I'm so appreciative of that. It's like, it's a great feeling, It makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something.
It's really cool because, when I was growing up and listening to music, I had a chance to meet certain musicians as I was growing up, would wait out backstage for them or whatever. And, had a pleasure meeting, Lars Ulrich and James Hetfield on the Ride the Lightning tour. I had a chance to meet Sammy Hagar on one of his, VOA tours here. And I told them the same thing that people tell me. I kind of look back, it's kind of weird, but, a lot of these bands that I used to listen to in my youth helped me not necessarily get through things because I didn't have a fucked up childhood. It helped me just escape and unwind from the pressures of school, your grades, and, all that shit that comes with school and everyday life. It just helped me unwind when I would just come home from school, throw on an album, just lay down and read the back, look at the cover, front and back, read the thank yous, read the lyrics, look at the pictures. Kind of made me forget my troubles, kind of made me forget what a shitty day I had or, what a shitty day that, maybe my mom or dad had. They might have taken it, out on one of us, not, on purpose, but just, one of those days, snapped at you for leaving the TV on or some crap, anything. When they come and tell me that wow, you guys helped me forget for that 25 minutes that EP is, or, the seeing you guys live, it helped me just, forget about things in everyday life. It's humbling, man. It's weird that I look back and see that I used to tell the people I looked up to that were in bands the same thing, that it's a new generation of people coming out to see us. It's like these kids who have discovered their dad's record album, the record collection, and found Anialator and playing it, and they're like, oh, wow, what the hell is this? And get on the computer, Google it, and now some 12-year-old in Idaho or some, 19-year-old in fucking Florida is a fan, So it's just humbling. It's just humbling when people come up and tell us that, I can't thank them, enough for even, giving us a chance and taking a listen to, the EP or coming out to see our show.
And that puts the juices back into the excitement for you guys, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. Top
album or albums for 2018, if you have any, possibly.
Arms Race.
That's you. I mean,
oh, me?
You tell them your top. What was it? Just top.
Oh, Wow, that's hard, man. That's a hard question. There's so many out there. But I do like the new Harm's Way. Shit, I like the new Cannibal Corpse. I like the new that latest Creator. Just to name a few, you know, in metal. I mean, there's just too many. I mean, for me, I listen to so much.
Me, I would say probably like the new Deicide.
That's a good one, yeah.
Wow.
I like those kids, though. Those
kids.
Alien ones.
Dirty bastard.
No, the alien weaponry.
Oh, he likes that. I don't like that alien weaponry shit. No offense against them. I just not my taste of music. I would know. I really didn't pay attention to what came out in 2018. To tell you the truth, whatever's playing on my satellite radio or I'll listen to or whatever I stumble across. My favorite band, though, is, and I don't know if it was put out in 2018 or not, but Power Trip.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Power Trip is one of my all-time favorite bands that I love. You know, if they're playing, I'll go to 3 shows in Texas to see them. You know, me and my fiance will go out there and check them out. You know, Power Trip is like probably one of the top bands on I would say, of my pick.
Yeah, he beat me to it.
Don't lie, guys. Stick with your alien weaponry.
So what's the plans for 2019 for Anialator as of right now?
Write more songs, play some awesome shows, and just, you know, let's get the ball going again, man. You know, we got El Paso coming up next.
El Paso is, we got El Paso, Texas coming up January 4th, and we're playing a festival in Washington State. I want to say April 20th or something. I could be wrong on the date. I'm sorry. I moved. I forget shit. No, possible show in Portland, Oregon. They're working on it right now. But I think what we decided, we just did three badass shows through Texas with The Accused and
Anchor Watt,
and a band from the same city we're from, Corpus Christi, called Anchor Watt. We just did 3 shows with them, and I think we all talked about kind of slowing down on doing anything live right now and just start writing the new album, start putting our ideas together, and hopefully, 2019 we'll strike a record deal with someone out there, willing to step up and take us under their wing, and hopefully we, actually expose us throughout, throughout this whole fucking world. I mean, we need a record label that
has faith in us,
that it gets everywhere, that's distributed everywhere for us to get our name out. I mean, this will actually be our first LP, our first full length, if we can get signed. If nothing comes of it, which I know we will get signed. I'm saying we will get signed. If nothing does, we'll probably just either record it ourselves and put it out there, or offer it to Xtreem Music again. And I mean, they did a fine job releasing the first one, our first EP. They got it into a lot of magazines. They got it into a lot of online magazines, and word of mouth that they put out, since they're a label that's been around a long time, that really helped push Anialator to the next level. So I shout out to Dave Rotten from Xtreem Music for taking the chance and putting out new music for us. But yeah, 2019, write new songs, start working on that, put out a full length. The thing we want to do the most and we love to do is tour. Try to get on a decent tour with some known bands and tour the U.S. and Europe and spread our Texas love around.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said.
I've said it before throughout the interview, and I'll say it again. Thank you guys so much for your continued music, and keep up what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man, for taking the time out and getting behind Anialator. We really appreciate it, John.
Not a problem whatsoever. Guys, how can folks stay in touch with you all, buy some merchandise, tour dates, things like that? How can they do that?
The basics, you can go to the Facebook page. It's Anialator TX, and it's not spelled like the regular way. That's one thing that I'd like to stress when people are listening to this, because there may be a little confusion when you say Anialator. Ours is definitely spelled different than what it's normally spelled. Y'all got your pen ready? You want to spell it for him, Armando?
It's Anialator TX.
Yeah, we put the TX in the end. That's on the Facebook thing, but it's just Anialator the way he spelled it without the TX. We're probably, if we do get signed and we are able to put a full length out, we'll probably incorporate the TX into the name somehow, just to avoid any confusion.
Yeah.
This is what this, that's how we you can get in touch with us through there. We have an Instagram, also spelt the same way we just spelt it, and we also have a Reverb Nation account, to go to and stuff like that. But that's how you can get in. All those sites we just mentioned will have when we're playing,
Dates.
what we're up to, dates, pictures. When we play, we always put all kinds of stuff on there too. So
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show, guys?
Well, I'd be honored. Hi, this is Armando,
and this is Alex.
and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
We are from the band Anialator, TX, Annihilator from Texas. Remember that, motherfuckers.
Do it.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link and our YouTube link. And also get out and check out Anialator. You will not be disappointed, all you metalheads. Thank you guys so much. I wish you guys the best of 2019, guys.
Thank you, man. We
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
it, man.